Hi. Lately, I've had some inquiries about the quest for press. So how do we get there? What are some things that we can do to strengthen that process? What I can speak to personally and from what I see in my students is most of the time anything to do with pressing up or going into a handstand is a case of the head. And really whether you trust your ability or you allow yourself to trust that you can get there. So really it's more of a head game whether you're conscious of that or not. And then secondly, it's, I guess there's some strength in the core and really working with the hips to flip the hips back, flip the hips a little bit further than the heart. So this is what creates that magic lift. And we can find it easily or less scarily in headstand where we sort of start, I'll just show quickly, headstand, elbows narrow, tucking the chin, tucking the head into the hands, taking one knee in, flip the hips to lift the leg. Come back down, other side, knee tucks in, flip the hips to lift the leg, and then it's like magic. So really it's a game of like the hips don't lie. So we get the hips back behind the heart and the legs automatically lift. But it does help to have some strength in the core. And it does help to have some game in the head. So really we have to just trust that we can do it and get strong as best as we can and play with things like props like this block. So we'll start with a couple of core exercises because, of course, core, of course. I have this weighted bar. And the weighted bar is awesome. It has upped my core game times 900. I'm the biggest fan ever. So let's start with the bar. If you don't have a bar, it's okay. You could also hold a block that's maybe heavier than this, like a cork block, or, I mean, you can get creative. Old piece of wood. Get creative. Blocks, or if you have weights for like wrist weights. What else could work? Or nothing. Nothing works as well. So we'll find our way onto our back to start. So from crouching cat, give your feet a little twist, sit the hips down, reach the arm long, lie onto the side to roll onto the back, arms up to the sky, and then shimmy onto the mat. All right, so check it out. Here we have this lovely bar. Wow. Mine is 12 pounds. I think 9 is my most happy pound weight. But also like 5 works sweet, or 6, like we don't have to have a crazy weight here. Really it's just like giving us a little bit of added resistance to the belly. We're gonna push this bar super strong into the air to fill and broaden through the upper back. Knees come into the air. Now move your knees a little bit away from you so that the belly gets tight, and then you play with how fierce you want this to get, because the further back you take the bar, the more your tummy has to work pulling those lines of fascia to keep strong. Lower lumbars lift and the belly's tight. Now here we're going to find a little heel tap, and then lift back up. Heel tap, and lift up. And really you're just working with the lines of fascia here, so you're just going to feel them tighten up and pull. And you want to feel like your heels are pulling like that energetic hamstring curl towards your bum. Arms, keep pushing them so strong into the mat. Or not into the mat, into the air. And then you can play with like a little bit of movement, so as the heels touch down, the arms go back, and then a little lift. And then hold the bar to your desired location back. And then little pedals, like so slow. Heels like they're dragging back through the stickiest honey. And then just release for a second. So you'll find like it's a different type of core. It doesn't feel like this crunching, it's a lengthening style. Where you really want to feel like the lines of fascia in your belly pull. So it's a different type of strengthening the core. Different than your traditional crunching. Which I have to say I don't know if I really believe in so much, the shortening of the ribs towards the hips to create that superficial six-pack that doesn't really help us in a functional way. Let's come back into the air, push that bar so strong and take it back to your desired place. And then knees lift up into the air. And then we're going to find an active twist. So move your knees a little bit away from you, arms as far back as you want, remembering that the further back you go, like, whoa, it gets hard. So, you decide how fierce you want this to be. And the knees are going to go halfway to the right, arms halfway to the left. And come back up the center. Knees to the left, arms to the right, halfway, less is more. Hamstring curl, the heels towards the butt. And come back up the center. Knees to the right, arms to the left. Option here to take your left leg and extend it long towards the right. And come back up the center. Knees to the left, arms to the right. Extend your right leg over to the left if you like. And come back up the center. One more time on each side. Knees to the right, arms to the left. Option to add a little bicycle here. Get a kick by plant. And come back up the center. One more time, knees to the left, arms to the right. Option for that little bicycle. And back up the center, and then release. So the bar really ups the game. It is deceivingly strengthening. Especially this 12-pound one. It's like, wow, hello. This is good for your arms. This is good for your forearms. It's good for your belly. Let's get it back up in the air one more time. Arms go back a little bit, knees into the air. Now we're going to just be big circles, like water wheel style. Knowing that the further you take your legs away from you, the harder your belly has to pull. And same with your arms. And switch directions. And then find a little Stairmaster pulse. And then release. Place the bar over to the side. You're like, thank goodness. Bar work. So good for the forearms too. Didn't realize that, but woo, arms off. Let's do more. So core. Everybody talks about the core needing to be so strong, and really I think the game is in your brain, but the core does need to learn to function in the way that it like pulls you up. I think it's just a learned linking the brain, the idea, the motion to the body. Let's have some little bow bugs. So knees into the air on a 90-degree angle. Squish the block on the longest setting between your right knee and your right elbow. Hero the feet, so that little inner squinch of the ankle to hollow the ankle here, a little hollowing, and a soft top of the top paw. Check it out. Lower lumbar stays lifted and the belly stays long. Press the back of your head into the mat to lift the chin. Now you're going to find a really strong push of the knee into the block and the elbow into the block, so you're squishing the block so hard. Reach this guy up into the air. Now we're going to extend through the left leg and arm. They go back and long, and then bring them together, little touch, or if they can, and keep going. Keep squishing the block. That's how the magic happens. Switch sides, taking the block, squishing it with the left knee and left elbow, starting with the knees at a 90-degree, squish that block, and then begin extending through the right side, a little touch of the knee to the elbow. They don't have to touch, but just the intention of bringing them together. Keep squishing the block, keep the chin lifted. And then release. Give your legs a little shake. This I find pretty strengthening for the quads as well. Check it out. Take the knees back into the air. Put the block on a diagonal this time, right elbow to left knee. Now you're going to find extension through the left arm and right leg. So squish the block, elbow to knee. Lower lumbar stays lifted and keep squishing that block. And then switch sides. Take the block on the other diagonal, right knee to left elbow. Knees on a 90-degree, and then finding the extension with right arm and left leg. Squish the block. And then release. Woo-hoo. The block is sneaky, careful. We'll do one more thing. Take your hands into what would be ecstasy, so thumbs up the occipital lobe and palms wrap on either side of the head, elbows hug forward. Take your knees into the air. A little bicycle twist twists. So taking knee to elbow and switch. Next time you take your right elbow to your left knee, let's hold. If you can connect them, squish them together. Knee into elbow, elbow into knee. And then release and switch sides. Left elbow to the inside of the right knee. Squish them together. And then release, hands to the knees, little rock side to side. That's all we'll do for the back. For the back core, take your hands, well, two ways to get up. You can either come back in the way you came out, rolling to the side and pressing up, or rock and roll on the spine, because it's fun. And then what we'll do here is one more set of core, but belly style core. So coming onto your knees and then coming down onto your belly. So check it out. Elbows a little bit ahead of your shoulders. Hands, make a little flower with them. Little flower prayer thing. And the elbows are kind of close together, a little bit more narrow than your shoulders. And so check it out. Let me take my shirt off here. So, can I take my shirt off? Check baby, 1, 2, 3. So, check it out. Super important here to keep full in the back heart. So when I speak to the back heart, there's this idea of radiant heart in bowspring. Back heart is essentially the idea of being as full on the back side of your rib cage as on the front. And so to open the heart is not only to but also to stay full and expansive through the back, shoulder blades spread. So I won't elaborate too much more on that right at this moment, but radiant heart is super important here. So your first priority is going to be pushing the forearm so strong down into the mat to fill into the upper back. So not like this, but like this, like a really, really strong push away, shoulder blades spread. Knees push down and pull back towards the elbows. Forearms push down and pull back towards the knees. Hamstring curl, heels towards the butt. If you feel any crunching in your lower lumbar, you've probably lost your radiant heart. You're sinking here. So push, forearms so strong into the mat, fill into the upper back. Top of the head reaches forward and the hips pull back. Knees push down and pull towards the elbows. Forearms push down and pull towards the knees. And then release. So it's super strong. That's a super strong, kind of like, it's like when I think of that pose, it's like the force lives within kind of thing. You have to really push and be intentionally lifted through the back heart. And then the strong actions of the forearms pushing down and pulling back towards the knees, and the knees pushing down and pulling back towards the elbows, and the heels pulling towards the butt in that energetic hamstring curl. Let's do it one more time. So, starting with the back heart, push the mat away, fill into the upper back, knees push down and pull back towards the elbows, hamstring curl, heels towards the butt. Butt lifts up, belly's long, top of the head reaches forward, forearms keep pushing down, so strong. Fill into the upper back, shoulder blades spread. option to find a little tick-tock, isolating through the ribs, moving the hips. And then release. Walk the knees in, come onto your knees. Here are the ankles, so pushing the top of the foot down into the mat and pulling it back towards the knee for a low hollow. Take both hands into ecstasy, up the back of the head. Find a little pulse, sit the hips down and back, and then forearms stretch up to the sky. A little belly stretch, sit down, and then lift up. One more time, sit down and lift up. Okay, so let's move into, let's take the socks off. Socks off when we get serious. So, quest 2 press. Another thing to get really strong in the belly and in your handstand game is to do hitch kicks. So I'll show a couple of options of what those look like. Hands come down as wide as the mat or as wide as your shoulders, whatever makes more sense. Hitch kicks looks like so. So arms pushing so straight. You can hop from side to side. They can be super low. Maybe they start low. Landing light with the paw of the foot. When I say the paw, I mean this part, the toe pads and mounds. So just this little part, landing so light, little spring in the knee, little bounce. The more comfortable you get with these, the more you're going to push the mat away, arms stay so straight, and then you're going to find a little bit more height. The higher you go, the lighter you become. The lower you go, the more it kind of forces you to tone the core, especially the lower core. What can I also say to that? With that, it's not so much the legs swinging you, finding the momentum. It's really learning to move with the hips. So it's like the legs don't even need to move. It's just like painting a rainbow with your butt. So you can think about like the butt just going side to side to side. So it's isolating the ribs and then using the hips to move the legs. So hitch kicks, I think that is how I found my handstand, is with the hitch kicks. So little hops, side to side. If you want to up that game, we can up it by doing cross kicks. So that looks like this. They're hard. So switching your feet side to side, opposite sides. Cross kicks. That's going to be like the diagonals going strong in the belly, which is awesome. To start working with your press, a block is super cool. So hands down. Wide legs is easier to start with. Take your foot to the block to lift up. You can take this knee out in a bend, keep the knee low. Wah. Wah. Blocks are cool. You can also find objects that are a bit like sturdy, but but taller to help you with that as well. What else? Then you just start working with, pull this knee up, up, up. So you can see that it's like the butt. And then it's really just a trusting game, so you have to believe in yourself. Really believe in yourself. Give your wrist some love. Give yourself a little pep talk. Tell yourself how awesome you are. And then go for it. So starting with the hands, give those hands lots of grip. Take the feet wide. Get the feet as close behind your hands as possible. Arms push so straight. And then coming down so slow. You're going to want to lean more this way, that way. Arms push so straight. I was doing this all this morning. I feel weak. But really that's the coolness. Get your core strong. Work with getting your butt past your heart. That is like where the magic happens. If handstand's not where you're at right now, then just play with the headstand. Because like this is how we learn the movements. Nuzzle the head right into your hands onto the mat. Knee in and lift the butt. Once you got up there, you can do some core exercises up here and just dip down. Whoop. And have fun. And like falling is part of it. If you don't fall, you never go to your edge. If you never go to your edge, you're never going to go beyond your comfort zone. So it's like you have to meet your edge in order to go past your limitations. Yeah, it's like that rule, you know, all of the best growth and the best things happen just outside your comfort zone. And same thing with handstands or anything that's a little bit scary, even if it's not like consciously scary, in the back somewhere, your body will be having like this physiological reaction of scare or fear. So you have to just kind of get beyond that and like practice falling and practice landing your fall. Because like, I mean, we've all fallen. You just have to get good at it. So I hope that helped. At least you got some core workout. Really, it's just playing and practicing. I'll do a wall video soon because that's another great place to practice handstand stuff. That's it. Have a great day. Happy Family Day. That's what it is today. Yeah, namaste.